From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Steve Milton.
It's Wednesday, May 15th, the Ides of May. This is Ticats Today, and I'm Steve Milton. After day 3 of Tiger Cat power practice and the 4th day of official training camp, we're into the heavy lifting now. And in today's episode, we talk with Scott Milanovich about big receiver Justin McGriff and what befell him yesterday. We'll offer personal observations on who had a good day on the field and sprinkle in a few who's who from around camp. But first, to Justin McGriff, who is well on his way, and I mean well on his way, to capturing a starting receiver's job after recovering from last year's tibia compound fracture much earlier than anticipated. But McGriff was taken off the field on a golf cart yesterday, and head coach Scott Milanovich gave us what little information was available during his morning scrum.
I don't know at this point. He's got an MRI this morning. We're all concerned it wasn't the same leg as last year. It was the opposite leg that looked like a little bit of a hyperextension. But, I won't know until we get the results of the MRI.
Just rough things just happened to that guy.
I know. He was so upset. I went to see him afterwards. We're just all fingers crossed, hoping for the best.
Milanovich and GM Ed Hervey had to get down to 75 players plus non-counters. Those are mostly Canadian draft choices and injured players last night at midnight. And the team paired 3 of the most crowded tryout groups by releasing 2 wide receivers, Marcus Cooper and Ali Green IV, 2 defensive linemen, Mark Smith and Vonnie Watkins, and 2 defensive backs, Maxwell Worship and Avery Young. We asked Milanovich how difficult it is to cut players and have to tell them about it.
Most of us involved in coaching have played. In personnel, we all played, so we've all been cut, so we can relate to the feeling. It's hard, especially hard for guys on this first cut because they don't have a whole lot of time. They have one day in pads. They don't have a whole lot of time to really potentially show what they can do. So this one's the hardest one. And then, obviously at the end of camp, at least those guys feel like they, got the 2-3 weeks worth of looks. So difficult, but it is the way it is. And, hope those guys wish the best for all those guys.
Perhaps naively, I wondered whether there was some kind of sunny side to that from a logistics point of view, because with 10 fewer players, the 7 cuts, and 3 put on the suspended list, Milanovich and his coaches can study other contenders more closely.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we're now light at receiver. We're only 2 deep at receiver, and so you start to worry a little bit about injuries and being able to practice, and so it's a little bit of a balance there. Yes, it does give more guys more reps, and they get to show a little bit more what they can do. But this early in camp, I still wish I had the numbers.
Now the obligatory update on Levi Mitchell. He took a few more reps in the second half of practice today than he did yesterday, and in Skelly, which is a passing drill without linemen on either side of the ball, he actually ran the ball 5 yards into the end zone. That, I think, was a first for him this week. Watching Levi and the rest of them from the stands were former Ticats Sandy Beveridge and Jason Riley, and Ted Laurent. Man, it's still unusual to call him a former Ticat, is on one of the CFL's player intern programs, and he's getting a taste of coaching and football ops from the sidelines and in the meeting rooms. And also among the observers at training camp this week is former Blue Bombers and Red Blacks head coach Paul LaPolice. Lapo, as he's nicknamed, is a TSN analyst, but his main purpose at Ron Joyce Stadium this week is to consult with McMaster Marauders program run by his old friend Steph Potasic. He's helping the head coach and his coaching staff. A lot of people might not remember that one of LaPolice's early gigs in the CFL was as the Ticats receivers coach in 2004 and 2005 under head coach Greg Marshall, working with the likes of Mike Morreale, DJ Flick, and Brock Ralph. LaPolice has a lot of irons in the football fire, as well as analyzing games on TSN and advising the Marauders coaching staff. He runs a football camp in Saskatchewan, and he uses his very precise dissection skills to break down plays on a very popular CFL online website. Now back onto the field. UBC leads all colleges in representation on this team with 4 players, with McMaster, Saskatchewan, Western, 3 apiece. 2 of those UBC Thunderbirds are rookies, defensive lineman Mitchell Townsend and linebacker Ryan Baker. Baker was selected in the 5th round of this year's draft, and Townsend in the 7th. And here's the thing about those 2. They were not only teammates at UBC, and now here, but they played high school together in North Vancouver. And how about this? Standing on the sidelines watching most Ticat practices is their assistant director of personnel, Spencer Bone. Now, Bohm coached both of them 2 years ago at UBC, where he was the quality control and analytics coach. He could offer some pretty valuable insider insight into those later round draft choices. And making the most out of your later round draft choices is extremely important to CFL teams. Now, we said we'd remind everybody pretty regularly about the black and gold game, which is a controlled scrimmage, and that's Sunday evening at Ron Joyce Stadium. Now, this event is an important tool for the coaching staff, particularly the film they'll get from it, with the first exhibition game set for only 6 days later, the following Saturday afternoon, against Ottawa. Now, on Sunday, there will also be appearances by Ticat alumni, the cheer and dance team, and 3 headliners of the Ticats audio network. Voice of the Ticats, R.J. Broadhead, and former players and now current analysts, Luke Tasker and Mike Daly. Among lots of other giveaways, one fan will win a pair of tickets to November's Grey Cup game in Vancouver. To attend, you should RSVP to the club at this site. So get your pens out or record this on your phone. It's ticats.ca/BG kickoff. Again, Ticats with a capital T.ca/lowercase BG kickoff. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. and gates open at 6. One of the things astute fans will notice at the black and gold game, the first time this event has been held in more than a decade, is that sophomore quarterback Taylor Powell has changed his number to 7. It's not that he disliked the 0 he had last year, but that he wore 7 not only at Eastern Michigan, where he tossed for 16 touchdowns, but he was number 7 growing up in Arkansas, where he led his high school to back-to-back state titles. Powell looked good again yesterday, and it's shaping up to be a very feisty battle for the number 3 spot behind both Levi Mitchell and him. Harrison Frost out of West Georgia shone yesterday, and Kevin Thompson from Sacramento State threw some very nice pinpoint passes today. Milanovich says that Frost, a pocket passer, has a similar throwing style to Powell's. A couple of Thompson's passes were caught nicely on back-to-back plays by Chris Coleman, who played at Cal Poly, but was also at Fresno State in 2017, the season that Ticat president of football ops Orlando Steiner was coaching there. Another tidbit, Coleman, part of the deep battle for a wide receiver job, is the cousin of Brandon Brower, who won a Grey Cup with the Stampeders and 2 Super Bowls in the NFL. Dexter Lawson Jr., who had 1 interception in 9 games for the Tiger Cats last year, made a nice pick of a Thompson pass and returned it mega yards. And we've got to mention this one. Jacob Patton, who played for Bishop Ryan High School and the Hamilton Varsity Tiger Cats and for McMaster, made a great, low, diving catch of a Taylor Powell bullet in the end zone. It's always nice to end on a couple of positives. From under the increasingly graying skies of McMaster, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, viewing, and reading, and please tune in for tomorrow's episode when we'll delve deeply into the fascinating and multifaceted life of Tiger Cat punter Bailey Flint, who returned on the weekend to the team he had to leave last year for personal reasons. We talk about those personal reasons and a whole bunch of other things. This has been Ticats Today, and I'm Steve Milton.
This has been Ticats Today with Steve Milton. Catch it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.